Let's be honest. Elemental is actually amazing. We start our film off with two Firish immigrants coming to Elemental City where all sorts of species coexist. We see that this all-inclusive city might not be a perfect paradise for the Firish. Seems like they're the only species that can't safely coexist with the other elements. Cue the speciesism. Our main character, Ember, is born to the Firish immigrants, and together this fiery family starts their own shop in the big city. We get a little montage of her and her family growing up and watching the shop's business boom. Ember wants to take over the shop, but her father simply repeats when she is ready. 7 years later, we see that her readiness might not come so easily. What's wrong with this situation, though? Normalize yelling at terrible customers. Ember and her father are hard-working shop runners, while her mother does some psychic love guru readings. There's always one in every family, huh? When Ember goes off to deliver some packages, we meet the one and only Claude. He's kind of a simp for Ember, but hey, I'm not blaming him for that one.
Sorry, buddy. Elements don't mix.
Dang it. Ember's father gives her his promise that if she can run a sale day at the shop without losing her temper, the shop is all hers. After losing her temper in almost record time, Ember has an outburst in the shop's basement and bursts a water pipe. From the floor of the flooded basement appears a waterman who's a bit of an emotional wreck, much like Ember but more sad than mad. True to the man, our government-working waterman writes Ember's shop all the due citations and takes off while Ember gives chase. So in this world, the government won't provide assistance to certain people, but will punish them for finding their own way around their hardships. Oh, this is just real life. Waterboy ends up sending the tickets on to City Hall, but has a change of heart seeing Ember's lament. Unfortunately, it's a bit too late and the tickets are sent further down the line, sealing in the shop's fate. Back home, Ember's parents are attempting to fix the mess that she and Mr. Wet left behind when we get a better look into this Firish family's backstory. Apparently, back in the Fire Nation, Prince Zuko attained— wait, no. That's not right. Some giant storm ended up raising the land, and wanting more in life, Ember's parents left for Element City. The next day, Ember is camping outside a man's boss's office, who is out of work attending a big sports game. The two of them head to the game and try to vouch for Ember's shop when Ember starts a fight in the stands. Once again, this is just real life. The big boss Cloud Lady tells Ember that if her and Liquid Boy can find the source of the water problem in Ember's family's shop, then she'll forgive the citations and let it stay open. While searching for the spot that Aquaman got sucked into initially, he and Ember bond over being peeping toms. Aside from that, Ember and Dewdrop seem to have what the other lacks. Ember has a fiery tenacity and conviction, while Splash has infectious empathy and patience for those going through tough times. The only real issue is that Ember's father has a deep-seated dislike for water. When a big ship causes a flood to head for Firetown, our two main characters hop into action and find out that they actually work really well together. After stopping the flood, Ember reluctantly agrees to a date with Hydro Henry, and we get a cute montage of Ember gradually softening up from all the time spent with him. In a very real way, we see the two grow closer, but just short of truly coming together, as elements simply don't mix. Except for water, and earth and air, and water and air. I guess fire is really the only element that can't mix in this world. There's worse news than that though, as the sandbags didn't exactly fix the water issue, and after some awkward interspecial tension between Tearduct and Ember's father, he bans all water from entering the shop. Ember gets the bright idea to use the sandbags again, but this time melt them into a thick tempered glass to stop the water from flowing to Firetown. And it works! When Ember sneaks out to meet her new boo, her unemployed psychic mother sniffs out the smell of love on her daughter and tails her. Turns out H2O Baby's family is really supportive of their budding romance, albeit a little awkward about having a Firish person in their house. The amount of puns and cringe-inducing jokes in this scene really washed away my smile. Aquafino gets a call from his boss and gets the good news that Ember's shop is safe and the tempered glass barrier suffices. Nice! Ember rushes home with her boyfie and reveals that she's finally realized that she doesn't want to run the shop. It's something her temper has been telling her all along. Ember's mother finally catches the two lovers and tries to press them to see if their love is real. Spoiler alert, it really is. Ember's father reveals more of his story and declares his retirement in 2 days. He's kept the culture of his people alive through his labor of love and business, and now he wants to give it over to Ember. Meanwhile, the tempered glass that once held up is already cracking away. Realizing that her life isn't going to burn the way that she wants it to, she goes to break up with her Baltic Sea BB. But he pulls out all the stops and takes her to see the Vivistera flower that she's always wanted to see as a child. Finally, the lovers make the move to touch and test their chemistry, and against all odds, it works. Ember doesn't get extinguished by Super Soaker, and he's safe from being vaporized. Before she gets too lost in love though, Ember breaks away, and after a scorching exchange, she goes back home where her father is holding a grand reopening for the shop. Before Ember can take over the shop officially, Wade, that's his name, appears and fights for their love. Things don't go as well as expected, and after admitting his love for her, Wade leaves the ball in Ember's court. Seemingly breaking along with their hearts, the tempered glass finally gives way, and a massive wave of destruction starts washing through Firetown, leaving destruction in its wake. Wade rushes to help Ember, who is too stubborn to let go of the shop, and after the two get trapped, things aren't looking too good. Wade is evaporating from the extreme heat of being trapped, and by the time they're rescued, he's gone. Ember finally gets the courage to tell her dad the truth about not wanting to run the shop, and while mourning the loss of Wade, we hear him crying in the distance. Through Ember's sentimental words, Wade is reborn from his own tears, and we finally get our moment of true love. The shop is passed on to a couple of regular patrons, and Ember and Wade move on to their new life together in a new city. Ember's parents have a heartfelt goodbye with her and declare that they now have more time for hanky-panky. That's real. That's a real line from the movie. And there you go. That's Elemental. I will admit, when I first saw the trailers and talk about this movie, I was a hater. I thought it looked like a cheap and easy story to test some animation software for fire and water effects, but I was so wrong. Elemental is a genuinely heartfelt and compelling love story that was probably written to test some animation software for fire and water effects. True.